No, I'm serious.
Good. We are recording now. This is K.T.S.E podcast, episode 12. This is Jonathan, one half of your co-host for the show, and I got my other half over here.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Jenae. What it does?
I'm doing good. It was a long weekend for me. I was out in Kansas City, met up with some people. I didn't run into Jenae. I don't know exactly why, but I'll let her explain why she dodged me.
I didn't dodge you. I went home to go visit my parents, and my cousin had just had a baby. So I went home for a little bit, recap, get my life together, But at the same time, Jonathan came down to Kansas City and decided to live his best life for the weekend.
I did more than that. I was on assignment for K.T.S.E podcast. Don't try to leave out all the details.
Living your best life. You was on the assignment for an hour.
Nah, more than an hour. It was literally like 3 hours.
Liar say you're a liar.
Because you got
when you edit when you edit the video.
All the driving I had to do.
Edit the video.
Driving down there, setting up. Then, after all that, I had to take down and all that, and then drive back. So yeah, it was at least about 3 hour task. So yeah.
All right, you're all right. You lived your best life. You had a great time.
Whatever, but that was yesterday. Today is today. We have a special guest in the building. I believe this was our 4th or 5th guest we had on since we started this up. So we're in good graces. This is our first actual DJ. He DJs as well as some other things. I'm gonna let him introduce himself actually. So here we go.
What's going on, y'all? They call me DJ Dr. PhilGood. My real name is Phillip Graves. First of all, I just want to thank y'all for bringing me on the show. It's not often that people who love music would actually have somebody to come out. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the call. You want me to talk a little bit more about myself, or how we want to do that?
We'll actually get into that with the interview. But yeah, it was good. You can go and let everybody know right now where they can reach you on social media and stuff like that.
Okay, so you can reach me on Instagram at Dr. PhilGood Music. Same thing on YouTube. You can check out some of my videos. Also, you can catch me on Facebook, same name, Dr. PhilGood Music. I have a website that's up, Phillip Graves Entertainment LLC.com. So when you get a chance, go check that out. It's still in the works. We're still working on it, but just basic information about me is up. So definitely go check that out.
Okay. So Jenaé, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start. We're just gonna start off with the interview questions for our special guest.
Okay. Well, exactly. The first question is pretty simple. Well, who is Phillip Graves? Not Dr. PhilGood, but who is Phillip Graves?
Well, Phillip Graves is a creative being who's on a mission to change the world through music and artistic excellence. I'm a laid-back, cool person. I love music, of course. I love to, just be around good people. And also to inspire people as well, through my gifts.
My question is for you: how did you get started in music and then eventually DJing?
Well, I come from a musical background, a musical family. So my grandfather was a DJ. So a lot of times I used to go over his house and he'd be playing some old Count Basie records or some Richard Pryor records, some Duke Ellington type stuff. And so I would always go downstairs, to his little his setup, and he would sit me on his lap and show me all type of stuff, show me how to work the controls. And back then he was just using like your 45s, your 33 and thirds, record player. So got that from my grandfather. My father also plays piano and sings, so he was like my biggest influence. My mother was a singer as well. So just having both of them, in the household, music was crazy. So I was exposed to everything. We listened to all type of music, from gospel to R&B to jazz. Not a whole lot of hip hop, because they weren't really into that. Yeah. So, I would have to go sneak in, dial into, the radio just to hear a little bit, Magic 108 back in the day, for those, who know about it. But,
yeah, I remember Magic 108.
Magic 108, man. So, but yeah, so that's kind of my influence. Like I said, I play several different instruments. So I play keyboards. I'm actually a drummer too. So I start off playing drums first.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I used to play drums back in high school.
Oh, word. Okay.
In grade school as well. But yeah, man.
Yeah. So, that was basically my humble beginnings. I didn't really start DJing until about 2 years ago.
Oh.
But I've always been fascinated with the art. I would always see cats, doing their thing. Like a big influence to me, not only was my grandfather, but, all the local DJs that you have here in St. Louis. So cats like Nappy Needles, I used to watch him. DJ Nooney, used to watch him. DJ Cut, all those cats, man. And so I was like, man, I want to do that. And coming from my drumming background, like that kind of helped it too. You know what I'm saying? So one day I just like, well, let me go purchase a controller and just started mixing, started playing around with it.
Very interesting. So you pretty well rounded. Pretty much seem like music running in your veins and it's in your bloodline. So man, it seems like you pretty much destined to do that. So,
right.
Jenae, your other questions?
What are some of your future music goals? Like, is this something that you see yourself doing forever? Is it just something short term? Is it just a hobby? Is it something that you want to turn into everyday work? What does it hold for you?
Well, music is everything to me. So this is what I do. This is what I've been called to do. I've been a professional musician since the age of 15. So I've been doing it for about 16 years professionally. I have my own production company called Phillip Graves Entertainment LLC. So and I'm a full-time musician. So this is all I do.
All
this
you
is my
do.
bread and butter. Actually, I just came from a gig, before this. So, but no, this is what I've called, it's what I've been called to do. This is my life, my livelihood. So, and it's a blessing.
Good.
It's a blessing to do it and to get paid doing it.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah. So, what are your things that you're doing outside of music? I would say, is there anything that you say that you're doing outside of music that you feel like it's gonna help you as far as musically, keep you grounded?
Like usually in my downtime, because again, man, my life is consumed with music. Every day I'm doing something, whether it's preparing for an upcoming show, whether it's preparing for a gig, if it's rather writing or whatever. So in my downtime, I kind of like to go hang out and listen to other musicians, other bands. I like to go skating. Hang out, just hang out, have some fun, just unwind a little bit. But I also teach too, so that kind of helps, keeps me on my toes, because like I have students who are.
You're a music teacher? Is that what you're saying?
I used to teach music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I used to teach at City Garden Montessori School, so I was a music educator. But I do teach private lessons, so private piano lessons, private drum lessons. And so, when you're working with, young people, 6, 7, 8, 9, K through 8th grade, that definitely keeps you on your toes. You learn this stuff all the time. But yeah, that's really what I do in my downtime. I just like to, chill, do stuff that's non-musical, but that's kind of hard. Being a musical person, because everything around you music. Right? Man. But yeah, I just like to hang out. Hang out with friends, family. That's pretty much it.
Wow. I heard you say that you teach as well, like younger people. So I'm interested exactly like how their experience is, especially like now, like the younger generation being so enthralled into the hip hop scene and all that, the hip hop genre. So like, is that like I wonder like how you approach that, knowing that is mostly like what kids are listening to nowadays. Like, do you start them off with like what you would call like the classics or whatever, or do you kind of try to incorporate things, that they know first?
I kind of approach it based off of where they are. So, I know a lot of older people say, "Oh man, hip hop is this, hip hop is that," and they have this type of negative thing to say about it. But it's actually art if you really take the time to listen to it. So because a lot of my students are influenced by it, I want them to be well-rounded. So we'll touch on the hip hop stuff, but I'll also go back to the basics, go back to the beginning, so you can kind of bridge the gap and kind of see, okay, how did hip hop come about? you know, and let them hear songs and, you know, like, for example.
You show them, like, samples,
so,
like the samples that a lot of the
samples a lot of hip-hop use.
Yeah. So, like a lot of the kids, they would say, oh, yeah, that's a prime example. Back in the day, we had this song, you know, of course, with us growing up, we had this song called Nuck If You Buck.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, they'll hear that, that, and so they'll think that it's the, what's that?
Juju on the beat.
Juju on that beat.
Okay.
So they were like, yeah, that's Juju on that beat.
No, it's not.
Said,
that's Nuck If You Buck.
That's not Juju on that beat. That's Nuck If You Buck. And so I would go back and play the original. And they were like, oh, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the beauty part about it. You know, because it's all connected.
Right.
All of it is.
Man.
See, when I learned how to play the piano, I wish that's something that she would have done. Because I literally fell asleep at the piano for 2 weeks. No, I learned how to play Row, Row, Row Your Boat. That's about it. That's as far as I made it.
Man,
hey, that's a cool tune too.
It's a cool song to play. I still know how to play it, but I really wish back then they would have incorporated something that I could have related to, and I think I would have stuck it out a lot more because back then it was Alicia Keys. You like, I don't care what you're talking about. I want to play like her. Exactly. Like her. In the next 2 weeks, else I'm quitting.
Yeah.
But no, like that's why, you know, that's big to me. You know, that's my job to kind of make it interesting and make it fun because you know, our kids have short attention span.
Yes.
You know, heck, shoot, some of us adults have short attention spans too.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, all right, I got to think of something creative to where I can capture them and, you know, and keep their attention. And so, you know, that's why I just take what they already know and what they like and kind of, you know, introduce them to stuff that they're not, you know, used to and bridge the gap between the two.
Okay.
So,
awesome, man. Jenaé, I didn't have any other questions, but if you did, we can get those out the way. Then we can jump right into our main topics for today.
I want you to go ahead and make sure you actually spell out your social media. Never mind, I found it. Hey, you follow my cousin Brisa Official. I'm sorry, y'all. Never mind.
You know her?
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin?
Yes.
You know what? That's crazy.
It's really a small world.
It's a small world. That's crazy, man.
Yes. Okay, so everybody, Dr. PhilGood is DRPHIL Good Music.
That's it. GOODMUSIC.
Yes.
Also check me out on my website, www.philipgravesentllc.com.
We would definitely be doing that. So we're gonna get right into our other topics for today. Recently, we've been discussing all these albums that the Good Music Camp has been dropping. I believe this is the last one out of all of them, right, Jenaé? This one was Teyana Taylor's album. And shoot, I forgot the name of the album. That's bad. I forgot the name of the album. It is called K.T.S.E, and I believe that means keep the same energy. I like that phrase.
Keep the same energy.
Keep the same energy. We just gonna get right into it. I don't know, Philip, did you get a chance to listen to this album?
I did get a chance to check it out.
So. Okay, great. This is perfect. Yeah. All right, so we just gonna start off. Was it good? Was it bad? Why or why not? And if I have to go first, I'll go first.
Yes, go first.
All right. All right, man. Here's the thing, like, and we talked about this before. Man, sometimes as music fans, you just cannot go into a project with high hopes sometimes. Today, you already know what's coming.
I haven't listened, so now I've had a chance to listen. So you now you're hurting my feelings.
It's not that it's a bad album. I don't think it's a bad album. I just feel like in comparison of all the work that's come out, it just doesn't meet everybody else's. That's what I personally feel. Like, and you know, I didn't really like the Kanye album, his solo album that he dropped this past June or whatever. So, and I think Teyana Taylor's tick below that album, the Ye album. So, just I listened to it all the way through 2 times, and I think what it was is just she kind of for me it kind of stayed in one pocket or whatever. I was looking for like the hit songs. I thought she was gonna come with some hits or whatever. Not saying that she necessarily had to, but I just feel like the album, it didn't have no like high peaks for me. But yeah, that's just my initial thoughts on it. But Phillip, I will let you go.
Thanks for passing it on. Yeah. So I'll say this: when I listen to any type of project, I try to listen to it with an open mind. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say it was all the way bad. I'll say this was like a very minimal list, you know, type album. So like it
wasn't overwhelming.
Right. So like it wasn't a lot of production. You know, like how Kanye would normally have.
That was kind of shocking for me.
Yeah.
Right, that's a little shocking.
Yeah, it's a little shocking, but
so much hype behind this album.
Right. But I can appreciate it because, you know, it's another side of Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't want to be all labeled as, okay, in one vein, you know, like that. So, but for me, just off my first listen, there were a few songs that I did like. Like stuff like Issues and Hold On. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, the Gonna Love Me was dope. Like her voice is amazing. Like she has an amazing voice. And I did dig a lot of those old samples that you know that Kanye used, which is his classic. You know, that's his staple. There was a couple of songs I was like, okay, I'm trying to get with it, but I can't really get with it. So like the last one that's on there, WTP,
that one.
I'm like,
that one's gonna work in the club though. Actually,
right, in the club,
to be honest,
that
one's gonna be the one that's gonna work in the club.
It's gonna go really hot in the club, but just on the radio or just just regular listen, I'm like, I don't know, I don't know. But you know, like I said, I can appreciate it because it's another approach.
Right.
You know, I appreciate just the breaking down of just acoustic instruments, you know, just guitar, there's some bass in there, there's like, you know, some drums or whatever, but there's no really heavy, you know, like heavy synth stuff, heavy production on it. So, you know, I wouldn't totally give it a flop, but you know, there's some stuff that I like, you know.
Yeah. And for everybody listening, I'm not saying the album is a flop. I'm just saying it was like, you know how you like certain stuff is just like, man. That's how the album felt for me. It was just man. And maybe I only listened to it 2 times, so maybe the 3rd time would be a charm for me. I don't know yet. But yeah, I would just give it like a just a C. Like that's how I feel. It's a C.
I mean, what were you expecting?
Only get a 70.
Like, what were your expectations of it? Like,
I thought, like, honestly, how I thought that was like how good music was rolling theirs out. So this is how I thought. Like, okay, they had Pusha T go first. His was like the hardcore hip hop staple album. I feel like, you know, kind of going back to that old like drug dealer street talk or whatever. So he had the hardcore hip hop, hit the hardcore hip hop fans. Then you got the Ye album, which is really eclectic. It's got all these different sounds or whatever. Then you had the Kid Cudi Kanye collab, which is like a weird mix of grunge, hip hop, and rock. So, and then you got Nas. He's kind of like a poet or whatever, like hip hop's poet. So you got that. So I'm thinking Teyana Taylor's album is really gonna be the party album. That's what I was thinking. I literally thought this is what they were setting us up for, because I thought they was gonna go out with this last one with a bang. That's like literally like I thought. And like I said, sometimes as music fans, you gotta, like you said, go into projects with an open mind. And I had my expectations. It didn't meet those expectations. So that's probably why I have it at that, you know, labeled at a C or whatever, graded at a C. I mean,
I also think it's hard sometimes too for people to envision Teyana Taylor as a singer and paint her as a singer.
Yeah, she's really a good singer.
Not just a dancer.
She's dope.
So this was her time to strike while the iron is hot and have everybody respect her as a singer. Like, I know a couple of her songs, but I wouldn't say, oh, she's one of my favorite singers, or oh, I'm really taking the time to listen to this album. So now that you said that, because I'm really looking forward to listening to it. I really was. Now I was like, oh, it's kind of underwhelming. It's like this was your time, especially everything produced by Kanye. 7 songs, 7 solid songs is not hard to hit it all.
Actually, this album had 8 songs.
Yeah, 8 songs.
This album had 8 songs. Like we said, the last track was called WTP. It's kind of like it doesn't go with the whole album,
right?
Which is why I think is the album. I mean, the song that's particularly gonna be played like in clubs and stuff. Like I figured once I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is the song they picked. Like, yeah, this the one we're gonna try to hit the club scene or whatever with. Because I was confused. I was like, why is it 8? I thought Kanye, he was like, yeah, all the albums gonna be 7.
Surprise.
Yeah, but it's Kanye, so I should have been looking for the okie doke. So
right. Okay.
But yeah.
We'll see. I love Teyana Taylor though, so I'm hoping I like it.
Yeah, I think you like it. I was just like I said, I was kind of wanted to hear something else, but this is just me. So yeah, our album swap. This is a segment that we do, Phillip, where me and Jenae trade off albums that we haven't heard, or maybe we haven't heard in such a long time that we forgot them, like the one that I got this time around. But my album swap I gave to Jenae was Dauntless by Scribe Cash. That's the name of the artist, Scribe Cash. This is an artist, I think she's based out on the West Coast or wherever right now. Actually, I was able to connect with her. Interestingly enough, I did some work for her in the past, like some freelance internship type of work or whatever for her. But she's pretty cool. She's one of these new artists. Kind of does this rap. She raps and kind of sings a little bit. She's got a little melody and stuff as well with her rapping. So I gave this to Jenae, give her some brand new to listen to, maybe cleanse her palate. So I want to know what she thought about it.
I liked it. I actually thought it was nice. I actually downloaded some more music of hers. I really liked it. It was a break from everything that we have been hearing right now. I feel like just with music in general, it's just been getting repetitive. Nobody is really doing anything different. And she was definitely a different taste and definitely a really good up-and-coming artist. I really like the song Bossy. That'll probably be like I'll probably say my favorite song. And I think that was the cover by Brandy that she did. And I really liked that one. Only One and Used to Party and Smile were my favorite ones. But she did an amazing job. I really liked it.
Yeah. And the album was only 10 songs, so
yes, it was beautiful. 33 minutes.
Yeah, it was perfect. Especially right now, they dropping albums, 7 track albums now, or whatever. It's perfect. I love this. Matter of fact, I'm glad that Kanye did this. Maybe this would be an actual trend we can keep. I'm getting tired of listening to these 20 track albums.
28 tracks. What 20 tracks?
20 tracks.
Do y'all remember when they used to do double disc albums?
Yep.
That's what
I can't believe people actually listen to that stuff, man.
P2K Pandemonium had a red and a black.
Man,
if you want to put that many songs on there, put it on 2 albums. Cool, I can listen to that. But I can't listen to, like, Chris Brown, 45 tracks.
I still haven't listened to the album to this day. I haven't listened to one song off that album. Just because it was 45 songs.
Besides what I've heard on the radio and maybe 2 other songs, I have no idea what's on that album. I can't even tell you what's on it. That's too long. Your album 3 hours long? Man, I can't even concentrate for that long.
Nah, man.
I can't
you got stuff to do, man.
10 songs. It was perfect for the ride because I actually listened to it when I left St. Louis this morning. After I listened to my gospel music. I listened to this, came and rode on back in. It was great to ride to.
Perfect. Phillip, have you heard of her before?
No, I have not.
But yeah, I think she'll be a good person for you to kind of check out new up and coming artists. I think she's gonna I just think she just gotta get the right people in her corner to back her or whatever. A lot of times that's what it is, man. With this music,
that's exactly what it is.
Getting the right.
You gotta have producers to back you up. Definitely. In the age where you don't have a lot of financial backing, you know what I'm saying? Where you're not picked up by a major label, so a lot of artists out here, you know what I'm saying, they doing it grassroots, you know what I'm saying? They doing it on their own. Yeah. But it's always good to have a good team behind you.
Yeah, I believe she's independent right now.
Okay.
I believe she signed to a label.
Do it. But no, I'm always into trying to find new artists, new music, something that'll change my mind and give me something different, something new. But yeah, she's definitely one I'm gonna check out.
Cool. So Jenae, your album swap for me was
Jesus Peace by The Game.
Jesus Peace. Man, actually, the reason why I believe I got Jesus Peace was because our last guest artist, our friend Issa, came on. He was talking about how this was such a great album or whatever. I was like, man, I haven't heard this. I never listened to the album all the way through. It was not because I didn't want to listen to the game, but for whatever reason, I never got around to listen to the complete project. And maybe it was because if I can find this freaking album, it's like 17 songs. 20. Maybe I had. Hold on, wait a minute. I think I had the deluxe edition or something. Hold on, wait a minute. Ah, dang. Yeah. Don't let me find out. Yeah, mess around and listen to the deluxe. See, deluxe man. Dang, yeah,
you listened to the deluxe version.
Dang, it's 60. Okay. I was wondering, I was like, man, this sounds like a whole bunch of throwaway songs on this joint. I was getting mad at the game. I was like, bro, I know you better than this, man. Why you got these throwaway joints on here like that? But, man, this album is really good. 1 through 12, yeah. 1 through 12 rocks, man. It's The Game.
This is fun.
Yeah. So if you into like the lyricism, you definitely gonna get that with The Game. I think like his first two albums, I believe a lot of people call them like that's his two classics or whatever. This one is not too shabby itself. Jesus Peace. So, and when did this come out? 2012.
2012.
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, let me see. My favorite song off this one was probably, I gotta say, Church. Probably Church and Jesus Peace. Yeah, those two right there. That was my two favorite. LA Boombaye was cool too, with Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. But yeah, this one, I already figured I was gonna like this album anyway, because I like The Game pretty much.
Right.
For whatever reason, I don't know why I never listened to this whole album through. And I got to check out the whole deluxe edition too, so. Why didn't y'all tell me it was a deluxe edition to this? I was sitting there riding to Kansas City
most
thinking,
albums
I'm like,
have a deluxe version now.
Yeah, I think that's a trend they need to do away with, man. Yeah. I know why they do it. It's for I guess for the streaming or whatever, but it's like some of these songs is like they clear throwaway songs, and I'll be like, man, it's not the move.
Not at all.
But yeah, that was our album swap. We're gonna move right into our other segment. One Gotta Go. These are some older albums, so hopefully our guests can chip in on this one or whatever. For our hip-hop and R&B, these are both older. All of them are older albums, so hopefully you have a chance to listen to most of them. You can be able to pick which one gotta go. It's simple. We got 4 albums for our first one, the hip-hop section, then 4 other ones for the R&B section. We just pick which one we gotta kick out of the group. So for our hip-hop section, we got first up ONIFC by Wiz Khalifa, Stay Trippy by Juicy J, 2 Chainz, Boats 2, and then Trap Lord by ASAP Ferg. I believe, Jenae, you picked these this time around. I think you just went straight for like the trappy banger albums. I think that's pretty much.
I did.
And it's funny, I haven't listened to any of these albums straight all the way through. I'm dead serious. I never listened to these albums straight all the way through until this weekend.
Now I'm really curious to see who you're going to be getting rid of.
Mine was, I thought it was easy.
Who I'm getting rid of simply
to be honest, I thought it was easy.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty easy.
But yeah.
But we about to see how easy it is and see if we agree.
Yeah,
right.
You got yours ready, man?
We're going to definitely find this out real quick.
Jenae, you can count us down.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Wiz
Khalifa.
Yeah, Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa.
I'm about to hang up.
Go ahead and hang up. Me and Phil will continue this podcast. I'm just playing.
Oh, he had some nice hits on there, though.
Man, I
really work hard, play hard was cool, man.
However, I do understand.
I like work hard, play hard until it got to the chorus. It was a weird switch. He switched it up.
He switched a lot.
I was like,
it was never consistent. It was up, down, up, down, up, down. You get 2 good songs, then 5 songs.
Yeah, that really made the album like, no. And it was like 17 tracks on it. I was like, dude, you could have shaved like maybe 7 songs off this.
Yeah,
you could have really found some stuff, man.
You really would have had
the only reason why ONIFC didn't go for me, one, you gotta stop listening to deluxe versions, JR. You really gotta stop doing
this. This was a deluxe.
I hope you listen to the
version. Maybe this is titled. They keep giving me the deluxe versions. They don't specifically say deluxe on these.
Like, if you listen to anything past About Me, so Stacking and Mary 3 times were bonus tracks. So it's really about 18 tracks.
Is about right?
No. I got 17 tracks here. Yeah. I didn't get the deluxe this time, Jenae.
Okay, so you might have got the deluxe. But I could understand how ONIFC, but to me, it's just the nostalgia of the album. And that's why I couldn't go, because it held a personal place in my heart. I just couldn't get rid of it.
It took you back to a certain time and place.
It was... Couldn't get rid of it. They Trippy had to go. I wasn't about
to Really? You got rid of Juicy J.
Yeah, he had to go.
Man, you know why I didn't get rid of this album, Stay Trippy? Based off of 2 songs.
Really?
2 songs.
What is Bouncing?
Show Out and Bands. Bands and Make a Dance. Those 2 songs alone, I was like, nah, I ain't get rid of that. Ain't no way.
Make a Dance is classic.
I mean, those are bangers in the club. It's still bang now.
It was a bang. It was a banger. But to me, that was it. That's all he had.
This whole album was nothing but turn up songs. Literally, this whole album.
I think that's why I just couldn't get rid of it. I was like, okay, this sounded just like track number 3. I swear it did. Maybe it didn't.
That is true, but
it all sounded the same. I just couldn't get past it. I just couldn't get past it. And I don't like Juicy J's voice. Really? I think that's another thing for me. I like his voice. He's hard for me to listen to consecutively for 18 songs. So I can see that.
I can see that.
His voice got monotonous. It's only so many times I can hear you talk about taking a pill. I can't do it.
I feel you.
I'm sorry. A Zip in a Double Cup gets really old after about song number 6.
I'm just glad nobody got rid of Trap Lord and 2 Chainz Boats.
Oh no.
I'm just glad nobody touched those, man.
You can't get rid of them.
Nah, man.
I knew when I picked 2 Chainz wasn't going.
Wow.
That's my favorite 2 Chainz album.
Oh, really? His latest album, my favorite.
Which one?
His latest album that he dropped last year.
Oh, Pretty Girls Like
Pretty Girls Love Trap Music, yeah.
That one is good, but I'm sorry, man. Boats to Me Time.
I feel you. But yeah, we got the R&B section up. Jenae, you want to let them know what we got for the R&B?
Man.
So for R&B this week, I went very old as well. Epiphany, Chrisette Michelle.
This is a tough
MF Life, Melanie Fiona. Free Yourself, Fantasia, and Fearless by Jasmine Sullivan.
I would say this. I actually was thinking about getting rid of 2 albums.
What?
Yes. And I'm going to explain in a second.
Okay.
Once we get this countdown cracking.
Okay. I want to know.
I'm curious.
This is going to be interesting.
Let's go. You count us down today.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Melanie Fiona. Y'all don't even know how to say her name.
Melanie Fiona. But what was the second one?
I was thinking about actually.
Don't you even talk.
I was thinking about getting rid of Fantasia.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. Yeah, this is it. This is
album
something y'all know about me.
Yeah.
I really don't care for Fantasia for real, man. I really don't. I don't, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's her voice. I don't know.
She's a vocal beast.
I don't know. I don't know. Something about her I just don't mess with. But I had to get rid of Melanie Fiona because, like we said before, sequencing, it matters, man. Like she literally, like her. One of my favorite songs she had was the very last song called 6 a.m. with T-Pain. I was like, why is this your last song?
Hey, that is a good song. Yeah,
that was her last song on the album. It was your best song, I felt. And I was like, you got to move that up to at least like 3. Yeah. So you keep people interested.
My thing with Melanie Fiona is she has a beautiful voice, but whoever her team is did not market her the way they should have.
I can see that.
Like she's a phenomenal singer, but I don't know what label she was under at that time, but they did no justice for her. None. She could be a powerhouse right now. But
seriously.
Yeah, like she could be a powerhouse right now. But whoever was backing her at that time,
man, let's
it sold on the album.
Let me see. Where was she at? What label was she on?
Was it Inner?
At that time.
Oh, it says I'm not.
Here we go. So yeah, she was with Universal at the time.
She was with Universal.
Yep.
That's weird. That's bigger.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest.
Thank you.
Labels.
One of the biggest labels.
But
so how could you?
But you know what I'm saying. Sometimes
maybe she got they got lost in the shuffle type of thing. Dang.
Yeah.
Sometimes major labels like, well, if you ain't really bringing in the numbers for real and all that type of stuff, then they'll just put you on the back burner. And like work with somebody who's making them a lot of money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I think around that time, what was that, 2012?
Yeah, dropped in 2012.
Okay, so we got to think she was really coming back around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so like, cause she had dipped off for a second.
Yeah, she did.
So you kind of lost that fan base or whatever. But it doesn't take away from her talent though, man. Like she
at all,
an amazing singer. It's just one of them things.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, let's get back to you getting rid of Fantasia for yourself.
Like that.
Let's talk about that.
Like I said, it's nothing against her. I just, for whatever reason, I don't really care for her. Now, I will say this. Maybe this also plays into it. What was that? Free Yourself. Was that? I think that was one of her biggest hits ever. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The reason why that song got played out for me, it was on the radio like literally every hour of the day, and I literally would get mad. Like I was like, bruh, I literally made me hate the song after a while. Like literally, my mom used to sing the song. I don't know, she was going through some stuff, but man, she would sing the song like every hour on the hour. I was like, bruh, turn this song off. Like I felt like I was under a spell or something listening to the song. I literally hated the song after a week.
In a fantastic mood and will play "Free Yourself" by Fantasia, and the whole mood will change. And now I'm pointing my finger out the car window.
I mean, that was
the whole album was.
That was the female anthem back in the day, man.
It
really was.
I mean, everyone was singing that song.
The pain in her voice. Get out of it.
It's not that it's a bad song. It was just like I said. You know what I'm saying? They like you see that
the radio would definitely play the same stuff.
Definitely, I played it though.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
get that.
But
definitely played
that album was still a hot album to me.
A hot album.
Like
amazing.
Truth Is was a banger.
Oh, Truth Is.
I like that song, Baby Mama.
This goes out to all those.
Yeah, that song was funny.
Was too, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know what a baby mama was then, but I was spelling the words out. Get out of here. The whole
But what was cool, man, she had a summertime
whenever
on
you
too.
get a girlfriend and she can't
like
sing Bring Up the way Fantasia does, she can't be your girlfriend, dog. It's simple. She ain't never have her heart broken if you can't mimic Fantasia's voice.
Right.
And free herself.
Shoot, she was going through some things, man.
She was going through.
It
hurts. That song alone made me keep the album.
Yeah, man. It was kind of like when I think I forgot the name of the song, but it was by Mary J. Blige. It was like I think she was on a comeback thing or whatever. They played the heck out of the song, and I just started hating.
Please take me as I am.
Huh? Maybe we've been too strong for too long. And
that was it. Yes, that one. I hated that song, man.
But the thing about it is, they took away from the album because that was a really good album.
And I'm pretty sure it was. It was just oh my god,
amazing. But that song, the album, hey,
they played the mess out of that song.
It was overplayed, definitely, definitely. It was at every black wedding that year.
Yep,
everyone.
Oh my god. Man, that's the one thing I don't like. That's one of the main reasons I don't listen to the radio now. Because they literally have the same like 5 songs in the rotation for like almost every hour. It's literally like it drives me crazy, man. so yeah, but yeah.
Like sometimes you can kind of tell what song is about to come up next.
Exactly.
You know, because like the same playlist.
Yeah, man.
But on the flip side of that, as an artist, man. Every time you get spins, you get paid. So
I know. I mean, I'm not knocking either. Yeah, I ain't mad at her. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I got you.
Yeah, I want to hear this every hour. You know,
man. They play me without you.
Oh man.
Man, they overplay. They made you not even want to listen to her album.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. Because by the time our album dropped, I was like, I'm not listening to this.
You're not listening to it. Man.
Well.
Man, they played that song.
Yeah. Yeah. So we reached our final thoughts segment. We just gonna start off with some sad news. I'm pretty sure if you just been anywhere, you've already heard this news, but the recent shooting, robbery, and death of the rapper XXXtentacion. This happened this past Monday, June 18th. Kind of shocked everybody, especially in the midst of all these albums and stuff dropping between the Drake and the Pusha T beef and all that, and then we get this. Man, I just want to hear everybody first thoughts on it. I just say I was just like, man, again, man, like it seems like hip hop is always associated with like shootings and stuff like this. That's the one thing like I would wish like people like kind of take more seriously, especially like earlier. We know we had Tekashi and was that Chief Keef or whatever. They were supposedly had some beef or whatever. I was like, man, I hope this don't get too crazy, whatever. Right. And then sure enough, nothing happened to those guys or whatever seriously. But X ended up dying, and it just seems like some frivolous stuff or whatever. He got robbed. I think they stole some baggie, a Gucci bag or something. I don't know or whatever. But yeah, it was just sad. But like the main thing I got out of this whole thing was like the reactions of people. Like I don't know if y'all was on social media, like seeing the reactions. Like it was coming from both sides of the spectrum. It seemed like people, there was the crowd that was really saddened or whatever by his recent death, and then there was people who's like mad at other people for being sad for somebody being dead. Like they was like, how could you be sad for somebody who's supposedly accused of I think he was caught up in a case of sexual abuse or something like that. Yeah. Whatever. But the people was arguing back and forth, and I'm like, man, y'all, do we got time to argue right now? It's like a 20-year-old man just died.
Man, where your heart at?
Man, regardless of what, I understand, like, he was on trial or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was coming to, the decision was coming or whatever. But still, it's like, man, the man died. Like,
No, I agree. A lot of people, I won't say even people were happy about his death, but a lot of people did not mourn the death simply because of his abusive past. But a lot of people's like, oh, well, we can't look at what he did wrong, but let's look at the things that he was trying to change. In my opinion, death is death. You know, someone lost somebody close to them, no matter how you feel about them. You know what I'm saying? They can't understand how you feel about them because they're gone. But in this time, we should be worried about his family and about people that cared about him. Whether you care about if he died or not, okay, that's how you feel. But his family, his girlfriend, who turns out now to be pregnant.
Yeah, man.
So he's leaving behind a child. You know, and people are, I won't say happy, but don't care about his passing either well. But obviously he was coming up in the music industry because honestly, that album 17 was pretty good. Yeah. It was a really great album. Yeah. You know, despite, you know, but, you know, RIP to him. I keep his family and, you know, the mother of his child in my prayers because now you got to raise a child alone. You know, it's kind of sad. He didn't get to do a lot of things that he had planned before he left, you know, especially to change his name, you know, and to kind of redirect a lot of negative energy that he had toward him with being a person. I won't say in the music industry, but being a person is, you know, from fans, from, you know, his abuse and stuff like that. So, you know, that's all I really have to say about it. Yeah. But we definitely didn't celebrate someone's death at all.
Nah, that's corny to me.
Not to be celebrated.
I mean, you know, definitely condolences to the family, man. But also, man, we've lost a young creative.
Yes.
And another, you know, who would have known what music would be like, you know what I'm saying, if he was still around.
Right.
So we lost, you know, a major entity in the music family, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of think about how, you know, some of the older, you know, younger people who've passed too.
Yes.
So like, man, like for example, think about, I'm going way back, but just think about Sam Cooke. I mean, just think of the timeless music. Just
you was already making, man,
like just think about, you know what I'm saying? Like just think about what the music industry would still be, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Same thing with Marvin. You know, so you know, we definitely took a big hit, you know, because of that, and it's senseless. You know what I'm saying, you know, to be robbed and to be killed and stuff like that. It's something that we, you know what I'm saying, we most commonly hear all the time. But it's, man, like sometimes this stuff gotta stop.
Yeah.
Period. So, yeah. Condolences to the family, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you heard it here. Our thoughts here at Taste Test Podcast. Like you said, condolences to the family and the mother and the child. Best wishes on the pregnancy, all that. But yeah, we're gonna kind of move into maybe some, you know, lighter news with Beyonce and Jay-Z. They recently just dropped a surprise album or whatever. I know last time we brought it up on our last podcast, but Jenaé wasn't able to listen to it, so hopefully she got a chance this past week to listen to it. And I kind of wanted to just start off talking about that video that they dropped. Y'all get a chance to see that. It was called Ape Shit. The video. Me personally, as far as the video, I love the video. Now my thoughts on the album, like I said before, like the expectations, I feel like, especially from artists like Jay-Z and a Beyonce, they gonna do a collaborative project. I feel like it's gotta be like out of this world. I feel like it's gotta be. And it was a very good album. I said that. It wasn't great.
No,
and maybe,
I agree.
And maybe with time, maybe. What'd you say?
I almost want to sell my ticket.
Don't sell your tickets now, Jenaé.
I'm not. But I thought about it.
You thought about it after the album, Jenaé?
Oh man,
dang, that's harsh, but. Dang.
I thought about it. I guess when you have two powerhouses like that and two very creative minds, I was looking for something more creative. I know y'all in love and y'all worked y'all issues out. Y'all talked about it in the last 2 albums.
Yes. And that's one thing I was going to get into, but I'm going to let everybody...
Now we know that y'all in love again, and y'all worked it out. Y'all went to marriage counseling. Jay-Z went to therapy. You prayed about it. That's beautiful.
Y'all both dropped your albums separately.
Yeah. And y'all got all of our money. I'm happy for it. But... yeah. I think I just don't like when the two of them collaborate. I think that they should just, like, on tour, y'all make money together, that's great. But those two creative minds together, if it's not done correctly,
I see. Yeah. If y'all not gonna,
if you're not gonna do it right, then just don't touch it.
I feel you.
Just because at first, Lemonade was supposed to be two of their albums together. It was supposed to be a collab. But they couldn't come to a mutual agreement on how they want to do it. So that's when Beyonce said, okay, I'll do mine. You do yours. I think they should have kept that same energy. Me personally. It was good. It was nice. But just from not what I was expecting from Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Phillip.
Okay. I'll say this. My initial thoughts when I listened to Ape Shit, because I just listened to it by itself. And I watched the video by itself without even listening to the whole album. So initially I was like, okay, it sounds something kind of like what you always hear on the radio now, that trap type vibe. Like I can hear some Migos references in there and stuff like that.
They did have a reference.
Yeah, so okay. But I mean, so I'm not saying it was bad, but it took me to go back to listen to it again. I'm like, okay, I kind of see what I see what you're saying. The video initially, my first initial thoughts of the video, I'm like, this video is really, really dope, but I don't think it fits the song.
Not at all.
But on the flip side of that is, okay, who else do you know, being black, a black couple who can actually shut down the Louvre in France?
Yeah, that's what made me really love the video.
And so I was like, okay, I kind of understand, somewhat, but when I first listened to the song without watching the video, I thought it was going to be, club, bank, all that type of stuff. A different scene than what I saw. So, but.
And... all right, so this is what I got from the video after seeing it a few times. Just going off the name of the song, Ape Shit. So y'all remember? I think it happened last year with the H&M. Remember the coolest monkey in the gym? So that's where I kind of thought, because France, the Louvre, is mainly celebrating a lot of art that's, a lot of people celebrate art that's from, quote unquote, European or Caucasian, white artists or whatever. So you got these two black dominant artists of our generation right now shutting down the Louvre with a song called Ape Shit. I feel like there was, and plus, even in, especially in Jay-Z's lyrics, he was talking about how the NFL was coming at him, trying to get him to do the halftime show for the Super Bowl. Or he's talking about, I ain't doing the Super Bowl. He's like, all right, me and my wife, we already selling our shows. We touch it down in the end zone like every night or whatever, and, stuff like that. And then in the video, you see like they got the people kneeling or whatever, like Kaepernick. So I thought it was like, that's what I was getting, whatever. Yeah. That's how I interpreted it. It was kind of like showing like not necessarily just black people, but the world is like, like black artists, we do this. We like the bloodline of all this art stuff or whatever. And then you can see even in those paintings or whatever, there's black people sitting in the background. Like it's always like black people have been throughout history, kind of pushed to the background and somehow or whatever we always left out. But now like them shutting down the Louvre or whatever, they're in the forefront. And I just felt like the name was appropriate, Ape Shit or whatever, because black people, you got those slurs or whatever, those epithets and or whatever, calling us, apes and monkeys and stuff like that. I just thought the title of the track was just appropriate, and and it was definitely a banger too. It's just a fun song to listen to. So that's what I got from the video. Well, really, after listening to the song and then watching the video, that's what I got from it. So,
and it's dope artistically too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, artistically they didn't miss.
Artistically, it was like over the top. You know what I'm saying? Plus with her, with Beyonce, you know, rapping more.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so she going in. So she was killing that.
I would say this for Beehive that everybody be thinking I be hating on Beyonce. I think she may be starting to come for Rihanna for the best female rap artist. I'll be honest right now, bro. With this, she coming for Rihanna. Say what?
Tread lightly.
I'm just saying. No, I ain't say she took over Rihanna. I'm just saying she She definitely got the best skirts. When I heard her say skirts, I was like, oh dang, she got that down. She been working hard with the Migos for that skirt. Is it, man? Go listen to it again. Y'all really listen for the skirts. She's killed them skirts.
Killing it, man.
But yeah, man.
No, it's a dope song, man.
It is a dope song, man. You know,
it's a great song.
And the album, one of my other favorite songs was 713. 713 because they took that song from Dr. Dre or whatever.
Yeah.
From I believe that was the 2001 album or whatever he did.
Yeah.
And you know, Jay-Z, he actually wrote the hook for that song. Or whatever. So I thought that was dope that he was like, y'all, for y'all that don't know, I did that, you know. So he was gonna, you know, take that and they kind of chopped up the beat or whatever. I was like, dang, Beyonce was killing the hook on that or whatever. She was shouting out of her own city, Houston, with the 713 reference. I thought that was dope. But yeah,
I like the cover art too.
Oh yeah, the cover art was nice.
Cover art's dope. I love the cover art for album. I love it. Love it. So
I recently saw on Instagram, and I'm gonna plug another podcast here. It's called Loose Lips Podcast or whatever. They had a question on their Instagram story this week. They was asking their followers or whatever, like, as far as collaboration albums, they had like the Jay-Z, Beyonce, Everything Is Love versus 2088 by Big Sean and Jenaé or whatever. So I'm interested into what y'all think. I know Jay-Z and Beyonce just dropped theirs, but I feel like the Big Sean and Jenaé 2088 album is very slept on.
It can't be touched, dog. I
think yeah.
I just listened to that a couple weeks ago. Yeah. That was a true work of art with the two of them. And they weren't even a couple then. They just collabed then. They weren't together then.
I'm just sure they made me believe they was.
They were not a couple.
They made me believe they was.
No, they were not an official couple then. Dang. Not with that collaboration. Now she was still going through her stuff with Dr. Genius at that time.
Okay. Interesting.
And the production on it is ridiculous.
Crazy.
I was surprised.
All the production.
Like when it came out, not a whole lot of people was talking about it. And I was like, man, this is one of the best albums that I heard.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like I didn't know about it. You know,
really?
I didn't hear about it until you introduced it to me. And I'm like going back and listening to it. I'm like, man, there's some hot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
some hot stuff.
Trying to tell you, man, that right there. I'm sorry, JB.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Aiko and Big Sean.
Yeah. And for everybody, you know, the Beehive or whatever, ready to jump on our next, go listen to that album. Go listen to it. It's only 8 songs, so it's not a long listen. They got one less song than Jay and Beyonce, so y'all can make it through it.
The thing about y'all should have been listening.
And I like and they had like a whole for the album. They actually had a whole video kind of album or whatever that went with the album.
It was great.
That was really good. It was dope production, like the video shots and everything. It was really good.
Yes,
really good. So I would challenge people to check it out.
The K.T.S.E and JoJo.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah. My favorite one was that talk show.
Yeah, talk show right after that one. And think about in the video, it went straight into...
Yeah, the talk show, they was arguing back and forth on it. I was like, bro, like... And the reason why I think, like, I like it so much, like, comparing it to Jay and Beyonce, like, I know, like, a lot of their relationship stuff or whatever, they kind of keep it hidden or whatever. Yeah. So it kind of make you feel like you really don't know them as much until they had the recent stuff with, you know, the infidelity with her, Jay-Z or whatever, cheating on Beyonce or whatever. So we kind of got a little peek into the relationship. And another thing was, it was like they are kind of older than us. So we kind of look at them as like potentially our parents. So we don't always, it's kind of hard to like, you know, you got parents, you're like, I don't know. But Jenae and Big Sean, they feel like they could be like our brothers and sisters. Like, they're young enough to be our brothers and sisters. So, like, the relationship stuff they was talking about on this album, we felt like, I personally feel like I could really relate to that stuff they was talking about or whatever. So, just based off of relatability, that's why I like the album so much. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Man.
Definitely a dope album. I just added to my arsenal of stuff.
So yeah, K.T.S.E podcast got 2088 over Everything Is Love, everybody. Y'all can. Yeah. So we're gonna get into our artist of the week. I haven't even thought about this.
Me either. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it to XXXtentacion.
I guess we kind of got it. I don't know. I was gonna say Jay and Beyonce, just because they just the biggest artists out. But I can see you giving it to X. Phillip.
I mean, did you ever listen to this his album 17?
Yeah, I did. I liked it. Yeah. I really liked that.
That was a really good album. That especially the song with Trippie Redd. Dog, You Are Heartbroken. That's a really good song to listen to.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn Flores. I really like that song.
Yeah, that's my favorite song about that.
Yeah, Jocelyn Flores was really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that to XXXtentacion. And you know, it's only fit.
I mean, I was gonna give it to Jay. You know, Jay and Beyonce too. You know, just simply off of
they album.
You know what I'm saying? They album. You know, which again is a dope album to me. I mean, you know, I like it. I really like the album. So.
Really? Yeah. So, sleeper albums, songs, past or present. I'm gonna start off with mine. Mine is 90059 by J-Rock. And if you checked out his latest project, he actually had his project called Redemption that just dropped last week or whatever. I like Redemption, and I think me and Jenaé, we may have to do a review for that album. I really like that. But I really like this other one, 90059. That's my favorite project of his currently, even though I do really like Redemption. So yeah, I might have to give you this album, Jenaé, for your album swap maybe sometime in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like this. And it's not too long. I can't remember how many tracks, but yeah, it's kind of more the hardcore I would say more hardcore street gangster rap or whatever. Redemption, it's got those elements, but it's more, I would say, I want to say poppy, but it was more fit for a wider audience, I would say.
Yeah.
90059 is clearly like, it's clearly telling you like who his audience is on that album, but yeah.
Okay.
And then for my song, one of my favorite young groups out here right now, they're called The Internet. They dropped a new song called Come Over. This is a perfect song. You may even have it yourself, Phillip, when you go out, you know, to different events now, or whatever you got in your rotation now. It's called
a little bit of them, a little bit of Sid. You know, she's the lead singer.
I love
in the group.
Sid.
Yeah, so Sid is.
Yeah, I really like this. It's real cool.
Their new album is actually coming out on July 22nd.
Yeah, I'm waiting that one too.
I'm looking forward to that one. Yes. Actually, that brought me to my sleeper album.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My sleeper album is gonna be Ego Death.
Okay. Yeah.
By The Internet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Death was amazing.
Yes.
Especially the song Girl with K.T.S.E.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was introduced to the internet, actually. I was on vacation with Adrian. Shout out to Adrian. And we were in LA. And we were visiting one of our friends. And they had this playing in the background. This was like beginning of 2016.
The song
And
Girl?
I had been hooked ever since. Because this album came out in 2015. And I had been hooked ever since. That's even when I got introduced to Big Mensa. So that's actually going to be my sleeper album. Ego Death by the end of that.
Yeah, definitely a dope album.
Ego Death was fun.
Did you have a song?
A song? I think.
That's right.
Phillip
looked like he got his. He ready.
I got a couple.
Phillip said he got a few.
You got. Well, go ahead and get your few.
Well, I'm gonna give you two. So, the album that Castle slept on, I'm gonna go with a local artist here in St. Louis, by Teyana Taylor. Her album, "Get My Heart Back." So, if you get a chance, check that album out. Produced by, local cats. A$AP Rocky's on it. Aloha. She's on it.
How do you spell her name?
So TheEorEsa.
Okay.
Payne, Payne.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's not A$AP Rocky. We call him Rocky.
Okay.
But yeah, when you get a chance, check that out. Dope album. I think it came out about a couple of years ago. So big shout out to Teyana Taylor. T-Pain. As far as my song, I'm about to go with my cat Thundercat.
Drunk.
I'm about to go with Thundercat. Yeah, Drunk is the song.
Thundercat.
You definitely gotta check that one out too. So,
Thundercat.
like a lot of people sleep on that dude, man. But even
slept on that album, man.
Like that cat.
That album was fun.
Yeah.
He was the main reason why I liked that Kendrick Lamar album, To Pimp a Butterfly. He was the one that
he was
made
one of the
the
producers,
production
His
on
hands
that.
all over that album.
Yes.
So definitely check that one out too.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I was gonna give you that a couple of weeks ago for an album swap.
Yeah, I listened to that. I listened to that one several times.
I was gonna give you Thundercat for an album swap.
Yeah, I love Thundercat.
Oh man,
I don't know if y'all
was
ever got
gonna
a
give
chance
you
to see
that.
that cat live, but
No, I haven't. He's dope.
That dude is amazing. So he's singing and playing bass.
God damn.
So
Dang.
So anytime you're out in LA, man, you may need to check him out.
Yeah, I might have
Definitely
to.
gotta
Yeah.
check him out.
Yeah.
Kind of see where he playing at.
Mhm.
That cat always busy. He's always doing something.
Man.
But
Yeah. Man, oh man, Jenae, did you have your song yet? I was searching for your life.
Yeah, I'm searching for a good.
You trying to top us?
No, I just don't. Oh, I have one. Wyclef Jean featuring Claudette Ortiz, Two Wrongs. I don't know if anybody remembers this song. It was Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right.
No,
exactly.
Wyclef Jean.
John featuring Claudette Ortiz. Two Wrongs.
Two Wrongs. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out then.
That song was beautiful. You didn't know this unless you was watching MTV videos during the day. With the Stop Call videos would come back in like 2004. So you wouldn't. It wasn't a radio banger.
Okay.
But
Two Wrongs.
Two Wrongs.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So we just got done with our final thoughts. We come to the end of the podcast here. Podcast episode 12.
Yes.
K.T.S.E podcast. Very glad to have our special guest Phillip on today. Yeah, man. We're gonna let you again. Just go ahead and give everybody where you can be reaching all that.
Okay. You can reach me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Dr. PhilGood Music. So that's DrPhilGoodmusic. You can also check me out on my website so you can see my upcoming performances. It's at www.philipgravesentllc.com. So, catch me at your next event. If you need somebody, a DJ, if you need sound, if you need lights, if you need a full band, a keyboardist, a drummer, anything dealing with entertainment, hit me up. And you can find all that information out on my website as well. But yeah, so, I appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Good.
Man. So, yep, this is it. K.T.S.E podcast. Be sure to follow us on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's K.T.S.E podcast. Twitter, slightly different. K.T.S.E pod on Twitter. You can find us on SoundCloud, other podcast apps like Anchor. We are working to get this Apple Podcast thing. Apple Podcast hates us right now. We only got 2 of our episodes up. But we're gonna figure that out. But you can get us on SoundCloud, Anchor, PocketCast, Stitcher, YouTube. Check us out on there as well. Just pretty much everything except for Apple Podcasts, sadly. But we're gonna get that straightened out. But yeah, it's been real. This is co-host Jonathan, and then my other half over here.
Peace, y'all.
All right, and we are out.
Peace.
Peace. Bye-bye.